Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko number 1855DT. This is a threshold. It's just a 6-inch sample piece for purposes of this video. So let's pull it out of the packaging and take a closer look at it. Occasionally we will just need to get our hands on a sample piece for purposes of a video, and that's the case here. So this is this threshold would be called a number of things. Bump up, latch track, panic, all three of those terms would apply. Why? Well, bump up, the door bumps up against the insert. Latch track, and that's because of the feature that's back here that would permit the bottom latch assembly of a surface vertical rod exit device to latch into this track. It's also called a panic style because of that same reason. So literally with this type of threshold, you can forego the strike on the backside and just latch right into this type of threshold. Now this bump up style is incredibly effective because it makes a very positive seal with the insert, and this insert is the T in the part number, the thermo insert. Assuming that your door is going to be swinging out, I would suggest that you consider a belt and suspenders approach. Have your door seal against this, but then give yourself a door sweep out here to stop the intrusion right at the point of entry. And this would be really, really nice for that. The fact that it's quite small is a facet of this threshold that makes it a little less common. At 3 5/8, you'd need an awfully small jam depth, 3 5/8, to make this, kind of make sense. But nonetheless, this might be the perfect size. Overall height of this, according to the drawing that's down below, is 7/8, so we can kind of gauge that on the camera there. And then over in this area is where it's going to be 1/2 inch. So the confluence of 1/2 and 7/8 makes it perfect for a typical hollow metal door where you have a 3/4 inch undercut. So if this threshold was a bit wider, like 5 3/4, it would be an incredibly common version. So this is going to be ideally used in exterior doors that swing out, that are not obligated to be handicap compliant, that may or may not have a pair of surface vertical rod exit devices on them. This would be very elegant for that. And then you add a door sweep on the outside and you'd be in good shape. So the 1855 is literally the cross-section dimensionally of this exact item. The D in the part number stands for dark bronze. You can see that this item is, is a dark bronze anodized aluminum finish. It's going to include screws that will be in a complementary finish. Now it's available in other finishes as well, and other inserts as well. We're going to pull that up in a moment. But the T means this black thermal insert. And the black thermal style insert is very handy because it will allow you to have an insert that will both be very effective, and because it's not vinyl, not succumb to exposure to ultraviolet. Not that it's going to be in much direct sunlight would be my guess, but nonetheless, it'll have a very good performance envelope in terms of its ability to withstand and stay flexible in extreme temperatures. It has a great amount of surface area here because of the profile of the unit. As you close that door, you're going to gain some surface area. It does a very effective job at sealing that area off. Now, I had mentioned other inserts and other finishes. Let's take a look at that. I have the catalog, the manufacturer's full-line catalog, open in front of me. And the 1855, that's going to be available with, well, a vinyl insert, which the only reason you'd use vinyl is if it was a cost concern. I would not use vinyl at all. It will fatigue with exposure to ultraviolet. It's very poor in extreme temperatures. You can also order it with a P, an 1855. So the vinyl would be 1855V, 1855 the finish and then V. You can also receive it in a pile, which would be 1855 the finish and then P for pile. The pile would be a very short, I wouldn't say bristle. The term is pile. It's a very short sort of filament that is very soft and supple, and that item is nice because it will present less force to the door closer to get that to seal against the pile itself. This is less flexible. You're really not going to crush that in as much as you may need to, depending on the installation. If you get a door that's just not closing and latching, that thermal pile may not be the right material for this. Let's switch to the screen view and take a closer look, because there's another threshold that I'd like to call your attention to. Now, this is the item that we are here looking at, and the link here to the manufacturer's page will allow you to pull up the product catalog, and I have that pulled up now. And then when we do a search, a Control F for 1855, we'll get to the page where we can find it eventually. And here it is. And what I was referring to earlier were the two inserts available, the P for pile and the V for vinyl. Now, the other finishes, before I show you that other threshold, and this image is not exactly correct. The extrusion has changed. It doesn't have these mild serrations on the back end, nor does the item that I have serrations across the entire face. And the back end extrusion has changed a little bit in that it has this raised ridge feature on the back side of this as well. So not exactly correct. But it's available in A for mill aluminum, BSP for black suede powder coat, D for dark bronze, G for gold, W for WSP for white suede powder coat, and 10BE, which is a powder-coated dark bronze to be compatible with oil-rubbed bronze. That other threshold I wanted to show you would be, it's actually the 159, but first, this is the absolute most common of bump-up style thresholds, that 5-inch wide, something in that range. They're available wider as well. A 6-inch thermal break versions are available. But if you're going to go with something narrow, I really like this idea, because you can add a hook strip here, an L-angle hook strip, that will mechanically interlock your threshold on the exterior, giving you a really great way to seal that area from the outside. Okay, so very helpful. While you've got that catalog open, you can scroll through and find countless examples and variations when it comes to thresholds. And in fact, no one will have more possible variations and available derivatives of thresholds than Pemko. What I'm saying is they've got the broadest available variety compared to all of their competitors. Let's switch back to the camera view. So we've talked about some different options, different finishes, different inserts. If this was the genuine article, it would be dimpled for a hole somewhere over in this area, so many inches from the edge. If you have need for a custom length, by all means, let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces, and simply indicate in the comment field the net length that you would like for us to ship the material out at, because if you ordered 3-foot pieces, you may not need 3 foot. You might need 36.5. You might need 34-inch. You might need 78.25, whatever it is. Anything 7 foot and shorter will have standard shipping charges. Getting longer than 7 foot has, of late, gotten quite expensive to ship. So be mindful of that. If you don't need 8-foot pieces, don't order them. Keep it to 7 foot and shorter. Although you might need 12-foot pieces, and you might need a dozen of them. In that case, the freight is not such a concern at all. If you were to order that custom length, we'll not only give you the factory wood, of course, a nice clean factory edge, but also give you that first dimple for the screw hole at the proper distance from the edge as well. Save you the trouble of having to cut everything. That link to the manufacturer's page below here will allow you to review that catalog and all of the other Pemko products that we sell. I'm partial to Pemko. They're good people with a good quality, value-focused product line. They genuinely want to help, and they do help. And you can't ask for too much more than that. Extremely accommodating is what I find. And they've got the most variety on in the market. So if you can't find it from Pemko, it's either a specialty product or you might have to get really creative. And being creative, keep in mind, Pemko has a full fabrication shop. They can rip, they can weld, they can do things. They can notch, they can cope, they can miter, so keep that in mind as well. Any questions on the 1855 DT bump-up style threshold or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.